So yesterday we actually saw Apple release a lot of M1 products, a brand new M1 iMac and a brand new M1 iPad Pro. Now to be honest, that M1 iPad Pro really shocked me. I was not expecting Apple to actually release a device like that, but that makes me think that sometime, someday, we may actually see Apple totally go away from their A series chipsets that they make for their iPhones right now and pretty much switch over to the M1 chip for basically all their devices, going from an iPhone, the iPad, to all the way to their Macs. So if we ever saw an M1 iPhone, how crazy would that be, Because Apple did say they were switching away from Intel. The A series of devices are Apple's own chipsets that they make, but the fact that an iPad can go ahead and get the M1 chip makes me think that we may actually see the M1 chip come for their iPhones as well. Now, this is kind of how I see them doing it. Right now, as most of you know, the iPad Pros are the only ones that got the M1 chip. I think Apple may actually release the M1 chipsets for their iPhone Pros, their iPhone 14 Pro. I doubt it's going to happen this year, but the iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro, we may actually end up seeing these M1 chips. Now, I love making these videos way before these things happen, just kind of get the ball rolling, because years from now, people are going to search this video and see what people are thinking as of this point, right after the M1 iPad Pros came out, we can see this ball rolling in that direction. Now, I don't think anything super crazy is going to happen. I mean, I would love to get the same performance that we get from MacBooks on our iPhones, but you have to keep in mind one thing. iOS is so optimized, it's crazy. iOS really just gives you the bare necessities that you need to run an operating system, and everything on top of that is just performance. Very little of the resources of the device are, used for the actual operating system. On Android, on the other hand, it's kind of like the opposite. A majority of the resources are used for their operating systems and things like that. So by having iOS optimized for that M1 chip, it's going to be crazy. Apple is already going to be doing this for iPadOS, which is almost 95% almost the same as iOS. So seeing those performance gains coming from, going from an A chip to an M1 chip is going to be insanely awesome. Now, all those other little tiny, features that we will get probably are going to be awesome, but you also have to keep in mind that because they're all going to be potentially sharing the same chipset, all the apps that come out for iPhone apps right now could be natively brought into M1 MacBooks. Now, we already have that pretty much for the most part. On my M1 MacBook, I can get almost all the iPhone apps out there, but that's the key word, almost all of them. There's still a lot of apps you can't get on an M1 MacBook that our iPhone support. I can get a lot of them. I love having those capabilities, but it would be really cool if every single app was supported. Same thing with iPads. And in this case, having the M1 chip on all of our devices would just be crazy in my opinion. Let alone that, also on top of that, if that's true, the battery gains we could be getting from an M1 chip or M2 chip in the future going from the A14 or A15, whatever it's going to be, is probably going to be pretty insane too, you know what I mean? So I kind of see Apple doing something like that, maybe making the A series of devices for their cheaper end models, the iPhone 13, iPhone 14, but saving that M1 chip or M2 chip, whatever they're going to call it, for their higher end models, things like the iPhone 13 Pro, 14 Pro, things like that. So I guess we'll see what happens in the future, but that's pretty much what I'm thinking right now. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.